Hi, everybody. Welcome to Adventures in Poor Taste. I am Jordan Richards, and with me are Greg, Sam, and a very special guest.
David Brooke?
Yeah,
I didn't know I was the guest.
That was anticlimactic.
yeah, time needs better.
So how are you guys doing? What have you been reading this week?
We have compiled a pull list like every week, and do you want to start it off, Dave?
Yes. For my pull list, I would select Armor Hunters, #1 from Valiant Entertainment. It is the beginning of an event focusing with Exo Manowar, and there are, surprise, surprise, hunters who are after his armor. And
No way.
I have to say, you don't have to read. You didn't have to read a single issue prior to understand what's going on, because largely the villains are brand new to everyone, and the villains are very intriguing. There's 3 major villains, and they all reside inside a giant robot as big as the moon, and they're after Manowar. And I have to say, the art is epic, and there isn't a page that's unused and filler or decompressed. It's very taut and exciting and well plotted, and I think it's a really, really good first issue to any event. I think it might be the best first issue of any event this summer so far.
Really?
What's the creative team behind that?
The creative team it's written by Robert Venditti, and the art is by Doug Braithwaite.
Huh.
Probably
Two creators I'm not very familiar with.
Yeah, most of the people from Valiant, they haven't really crossed over. There is Matt Kint, who does some writing for them.
Robert does a bunch of work for DC. He's doing Green Lantern and The Flash right now.
Well, I wouldn't know. I don't really read these things.
Right.
I find Robert Venditti kind of lacking in any spirit or like heart.
Well, that's my pick. What's your pick, George?
Well, I picked this week Coffin Hill #8, written by Caitlin Kittredge and Iniki Miranda. This is their first outing together. Caitlin's mostly been doing doing novels and stuff, and Nikki's been just in the arc of Fairest, the spin-off for Fables. It's the start of the brand new arc, Dark Endeavors. It's going back to a past event that initially kicked off the comic to begin with. The main character, Eve, going back to her days as a police officer investigating the mysterious Ice Fisher case, while also staying in the present and looking at what's happening with everyone after what happened last issue. It's very good. There's nothing really creepy yet, despite it being a horror series, but it's very intriguing and very interesting. I'm generally looking very forward to seeing where it goes.
Nice.
And who publishes this?
Vertigo.
Isn't it kind of like an anthology kind of story?
No, it's just a regular series.
All right. Is anyone reading that the Vertigo anthology? I don't remember what it's called, but it had a very simple cover to it.
Oh, their color one. And
yeah, it's called like Vertigo Quarterly.
I was going to originally read the first one, but Dave said he was going to take a look at it.
I did, and I hated it.
Oh,
Really?
I didn't see any good names on it.
well, there's some good names here and there. It's kind of interesting, but I gotta take a look at the next issue, apparently.
I'm trying to pull it up now, but while I do that, Sam, what's your book?
My book is a one-shot from Image Comics. It's called That's Because You're a Robot. And my favorite 2 parts about this comic were actually the title and the premise. The title is just brilliant. And the premise is that there are 2 cops, they're best buds, they're kind of hooligans, but that's okay. But one of them's a robot, but they don't know which one. So
Hijinks ensue.
Hmm?
Hijinks ensue.
Yeah, it's like a really goofy, really like kooky, kind of crazy turn of events as they meet this guy named the Ager, and they're flying leprechauns. Actually, one of my other favorite parts of the comic was there's a scene where it's like, and all the dastardly villains of the world pop out from nowhere, and it's like, oh shucks, but then immediately following that, it says bonus pinup page. And it's just a picture of all the characters right in the middle of the action. It's just this random pinup page, which I found quite amusing.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
It was a funny aside.
It said, yeah, this is the word. So these characters were talking, and he says, "You are a decoy to draw away any stooges." Stooges? What stooges? These stooges. And then a group of cowboys and like lobsters and skeletons and ghosts and leprechauns and a giant Frankenstein Hulk monster just pop on the scene. And it says, "Bonus, that's because you're a robot double page pinup." And it just has a picture of all the characters. I found that so amusing.
It's a pretty absurd comic, that's for sure. It's published by Image, right?
Yeah. It didn't seem like an Image thing, though.
Well, that's the good thing about Image these days, I think. During their heyday, not heyday, but during their debut in the 90s, they basically were just a bunch of ex-Marvel artists trying to do superhero stuff. And nowadays, it's really hard to pin them down for any sort of genre or style or any pigeonhole, really. And I think that's great. I think that's very healthy for the company. I think it's very healthy for the comic book industry.
Really, the only consistency Image has is that they have a new #1 every month.
Every
Nice.
week almost.
I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So, to go back really quick,
That Jordan is always reading the #1s.
I guess because he claims them first. That series is called Vertigo Quarterly, CMYK.
Why is CMYK?
Different colors, cyan, magenta, that kind of thing.
Oh, that's a
Because back in the day, you look at like Golden Age, Silver Age comics, and the coloring is not what it is today. They only had a certain budget, and they only had certain kinds of technology. They were limited to different combinations of cyan, magenta, yellow, and I forget what K stands for.
Well, we are just getting the full scoop here. That is so interesting. I mean, I never would have guessed.
Well,
That's
as long as,
cool.
as long as we're on it, the next issue is magenta, and it's going to be written by Pierre Milligan and Fabio Moon, who did Day Tripper.
I want to read Day Tripper, but I can't find a copy that's relatively cheap.
Yeah. It's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, there's your comic book history for you. I know this
The more
stuff. That's
you
why they pay for the
know.
big bucks.
I feel like Greg has given us so much information. I'd love to know what his comic of the week is.
I actually haven't had much time to read comics this week.
Oh no!
I did, however, this isn't my comic of the week. This is just one I need to talk about. I did read Angry Birds comics #1.
Ooh.
Can we talk about that before we even get into it, just what we think of the idea?
Oh, by all means.
Do either of you have any thoughts on it?
Oh, I have tons of thoughts.
Please. Go for it.
I really don't know anything about Angry Birds. It's just not something I'm very much interested in. I guess I see it's kind of a smart marketing move to do a comic series for it because it's popular right now, but that's pretty much it.
Actually, contrary to that, I feel like it's a little late because Angry Birds, from what I know about my friends and stuff, no one plays it anymore. Everyone's beat every game.
Yeah, I mean, Angry Birds was popular when I was in, like, 5th grade. Come on, guys.
Well, I guess you can't do that movie now.
But Sam, when was that? Wasn't that last year? Oh!
Oh,
Heyo.
psych, you got me. 2 years ago, at
Oh.
least. Please.
I think that it's clever. I think it's kind of neat to put a story on something that actually has absolutely no story. But given that, if they don't try their hardest, it's just a marketing stunt.
I think that it's a really brilliant idea because if you could like breathe life into sort of flat characters, it would attract a certain audience and it would be kind of fun. From Greg's review, it doesn't seem like they did that, and it sort of seems like they went the way of the Simpsons comics, And as much as I love the Simpsons TV show, I've never read an issue of The Simpsons and enjoyed it. So I guess it was a failed endeavor, according to Greg.
Well, here's the thing. I now that you guys have said your pieces, I actually read the thing. First of all, it's hard to compare to The Simpsons or really any other licensed property that has a actual story behind it. So I give a lot of credit to the creators, particularly the writers Jeff Parker and Paul Tobin, for being able to make something out of this. That's really impressive to me. So I may have given it 6.5, but I gave it 6.5 because I'm basing it on how much I, as an individual, enjoyed it. And it fell around that scale for me. However, as I said in my review, I think kids would really like it, and I think there are some genuinely funny moments in it that, and the art's very consistent too. I didn't really talk much about the art in my review, but I because I just couldn't find much to say about it. But it's not a bad comic if you've got kids or you are a kid. Or you're just a person that really likes Angry Birds and you want to, and for some reason you want to know more about that universe, then go for it. But what fascinates me is it didn't really add much to the lore. It's still about very irritable birds flinging themselves at a bunch of piggies. It's not that much more complicated than that.
You have to say piggies. I mean, come on.
Well, that's how they're referred to in the comic.
Oh,
they're not pigs; they're piggies.
Oh my god.
I like the whole lore though. Like, it's kind of a cute concept, and it's just it would be kind of funny if they took it seriously, which it doesn't seem like they did.
Well, similar to what you said about Simpson comics, I think when they write these, they're intending it to be for young adults or even younger than that. So with Angry Birds, I'm sure the humor is probably not funny enough or dirty enough for people like us.
Do you presume?
Well, I don't need my.
Are you trying to tell me that I'm a kid? I don't deserve to be reading.
I said us.
I
grouped you with me, Sam.
I don't need my humor to be dirty.
You think I need to be reading sex jokes?
Edgy.
Okay, this is getting awkward.
No. I'm saying that, I think one of the odd things about Simpsons comics is that The Simpsons, the TV show, is not aimed squarely at children. It's actually aimed more towards adults, and yet the comics have this all ages thing going on, which I think is very odd. Angry Birds, though, wasn't really intended for. I'm talking about the game now. The game was not really intended for children. It's just kind of an all ages thing for people to enjoy. It just, you have this phenomenon of little kids whose parents have an iPad or an iPhone, and they just fall in love with it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's my thoughts on Angry Birds. I didn't think we'd get into such a deep discussion about it.
Let's move on to something that's a little bit more for us, I think. Nowhere Men.
Not for anyone.
Well, let me start out by saying it's one of the Eisner nominees. It's nominated for Best Continuing Series, Best Writer, Best Penciler/Inker, and Best Colorist. Now, I said Best Continuing Series, but that's kind of questionable. Only 4 issues came out during 2013, and 7 and 8 that were supposed to come out in February and March of this year never showed up, and they still haven't showed up.
Huh? Do you read this series consistently, Jordan?
I only read the trade when they gave it back to me in November. Been kind of waiting to see where this goes, but I would read it consistently if it actually did come out.
All right.
Didn't sell you enough to read it every month.
I didn't even know about its existence until I saw the trade being offered up as something we could look at.
Uh-huh.
So I thought I went into it. I've sort of been every time we've suggested in the podcast emails, like, should we read this next? I sort of tried to shy away from it because I don't like the concept and I don't want to read it. But and when I actually got down to it, I sort of went in with a negative attitude. But even still, I really disliked the comic. I thought it was really bland and just sort of like it wasn't hard to keep track of. It was just it was not interesting to me. Nothing held any appeal.
I mean, I like that's a great tagline with "Science is the new rock and roll."
But they do nothing with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Beatles fan. I really, as one of the first things I wrote for the site was the fifth Beatle. I I think, was hoping for something that it didn't deliver, which was just kind of more Beatles references, although there were plenty. But the idea of these scientists kind of taking on these rock star personas is a good one at its core. It just, I don't think it delivers on that premise.
It's kind of a weird thing they did. I was kind of expecting that we're going to see how they influence culture and stuff, because, like you said, the Beatles, and they're pretty influential, obviously. But we don't really see anything like that. We just skip over it all to where they are later in life.
I thought the comic with that rock monster was kind of interesting, and like the conversation there.
Yeah, definitely. I thought that was the best part.
Oh, definitely. That really got you in because they felt like real characters.
The pace of the book just changes, and you stop caring after page, and then I was just like, why? And then I saw this awesome shot of a space station, and then I'm just like, okay.
It's sort of like excitement, nonsense. It's not really anything linear. It's just sort of like, here are a bunch of things that we really want to tell you about, but you'll have to wait until the trade to find out all about them. You know?
It's certainly read better in the trade, I'll admit, but it's just still kind of boring.
A lot of talking. I don't know. I think it's poorly.
I felt about it a little bit like I felt about the movie American Hustle, in that I liked American Hustle a lot. I liked American Hustle more than I liked Nowhere Men by a lot. But just bear with me, I'm trying to make a point. I liked American Hustle, however, I did not quite understand why it was nominated for all those Oscars.
Yeah.
I feel this way somewhat to a lesser degree about Nowhere Men. I don't really understand why it was nominated for all these Eisners, unless there's something in the next issue or the issue after that is completely amazing. But I will say, if there were isn't Eric Stevenson like the editor-in-chief or something? Some important guy with Image?
He's the publisher of Image Comics. I think doesn't he also write Savage Dragon or something?
No, that's Eric Larson.
Oh, yeah. Don't know where. Too many Erics.
But, I mean, he is doing a great job with Image overall, I think. Image is just doing so well right now.
Isn't Robert Kirkman the president?
I know he runs the Skybound imprint.
He's the chief operating officer, according to my trade collection here. Todd McFarlane is the president.
Oh. All right.
Really? He's still the president, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, I did read the entire series from beginning to end, well, of it so far. It does immediately get interesting as time goes on, but it's still kind of boring. Right? And they still don't really go into this whole scientific rock star thing. It just feels a little underwhelming. I mean, it does. I'm really curious to see where it goes if it actually comes out, but just not there.
Can I just say something? I'm on the Image Comics website right now, and there is Sam. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but there's a comic coming out called Roach Limit. And I don't mean like roach like the bug. I mean it's spelled like your last name. And it says Roach Limit, a melting pot of crime on the edge of the cosmos.
Ooh.
An all-new, ongoing, hard-boiled crime mystery set in a science fiction world.
I don't see it. Where is it? I'm on the website too.
You scroll down. You scroll down a little bit. It's on the right. There's a little.
Oh, I see it.
Well, I can explain at least one of these nominations. The best colorist is Jordi Belair, who also did work for Pretty Deadly, The Zero, The Massive, Manhattan Projects, Captain Marvel, and Quantum and Woody. I guess
Yeah, she's good. She came out of like nowhere though. All of a sudden, she's just on like every book it seems.
Yeah, I can definitely see why she's nominated. I don't see it really much in this book, but I can see it in other books. Definitely Pretty Deadly.
Yeah, it's not as stylized in Nowhere Men as it is in Pretty Deadly or 3, which I reviewed. She's kind of got Francesco Francovilla's penchant for orange as well, it seems. I wonder if that's like a thing with colorists, like having your like using your favorite color or whatever.
Could be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. Am I the only one noticing a lot of orange?
No, other people are starting to point it out in other comics. A lot of artists' colors seem to be using a lot of orange and purple.
Yeah, orange and purple. But I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Purple's my favorite. If you go on Comixology right now and you look at just look at the new releases, almost every cover has purple in it.
I did not expect that we'd be talking this much about purple.
Well, I guess
It is the king's color, Greg. It is the king's color.
Well, then I guess you're gonna want to take a look at magenta when it comes out.
Which one?
The vertical quarterly magenta, since it's purplish.
Alright.
So, next topic, and Sam is apparently muted.
Good.
I've got a question for you guys, actually, if you don't mind this being the next topic. I know it...
Oh, wait, here, Sam.
Has no one been muted the whole time?
What?
How did I get on mute?
No one's here. Yeah, you were on mute the entire time.
Well,
I hope you didn't have anything too important to say.
my thoughts on the roach limit thing. I'm very excited for that. And I was gonna say that the best-selling comic book cover, the color for a comic book cover, the best-selling color is red, and the worst-selling is actually yellow. And Grant Morrison took that chance where he published his Batman and Robin run, the first issue. He had the decision between red and yellow, and he chose yellow just to be risky.
Ah.
Yeah, worked out. Great comic.
I work for a company that uses red a lot, and apparently we've changed our colors because over in Asia, red is a very unlucky color.
Alright. So, what's your question, Greg?
It's also a. I just want to say it's a question. It's a color that supposedly invokes hunger in people. So you'll notice that a lot of fast food restaurants in their logos will use the color yellow. Not yellow. Red. Yellow is a color that makes people feel kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So you'll notice that with fast food restaurants, this combination of red and yellow, the message is kind of like, come, eat here, but don't stay too long.
And cowardice.
But
Yellow is also a sign for cowardice.
That's true, too.
Like yellow-bellied snakes, or like
Yeah.
So,
snakes.
Greg, what was...
Anyway, the question I want to ask you, I'm going to be at the special edition New York Comic Con this weekend, which is kind of like the regular New York Comic Con, except it's strictly comics. Right? So I was thinking, if you guys could come up with your own conventions that's very specific to one thing, what would it be?
Nice.
I know, right?
Wait, what's the question? I wasn't listening.
If you could create your own convention that's specific to one thing, kind of like how the special edition Comic-Con is strictly comics, no non-comic book things allowed.
Oh, I see. So
What kind of convention would you create?
alright.
Game of Thrones.
Ugh.
I'd love to be in a room with just a whole bunch of Game of Thrones nerds. There would be maps and like authentic shields and all sorts of cool stuff.
I'm gonna go with Pee Wee Herman.
What's that?
You've never heard of Pee Wee Herman?
What's that? Oh no!
Oh no!
Man, you're young.
What is Pee Wee Herman?
It is hilarious. It's one of Tim Burton's first films.
What is it
It's
about?
just now occurring to me that Pee Wee Herman is kind of hard to explain if you don't actually watch it.
It's a movie. There's 2 movies. There's a TV show.
Why don't you go look up the TV show intro and watch that, and report back to us on what you think.
I mean, I guess after the comic, it doesn't sound very enticing. I mean, it's kind of a stupid name.
What? But you.
You have a stupid name.
Wow! Wow! This gets bold out here.
No, I love your name.
What? It's even weirder than saying you hate my name.
This is getting weird.
Jordan, what would you pick?
I'm honestly not sure. Really have no idea what I would pick for convention. Get back to me, Sam. Go.
I already went.
Oh, there you go.
Dave,
I already
you
said.
have an idea? Oh yeah, Pee Wee Herman. Well, for me, it would be like a meta convention, like just
themselves.
no, like yes, we could do that. We could have just a bunch of people talking about themselves and about the convention, but it could also be a celebration of postmodernism. Just a lot of self-referential stuff going on.
Like, you give me an example of something that would be there?
Like, there would definitely be a celebration of Grant Morrison's Animal Man run. Grant Morrison would be like a spotlight guest.
Didn't he have his own Comic-Con? He had his own, didn't he?
What? What a jerk.
He did.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason I got the idea. Yeah, there was a Morrison Con.
I wonder how that went.
Have you guys heard of that?
No, well, I'm not surprised.
What was that, like last fall, I think?
Yeah, I actually really wanted to go because it wasn't just Morrison. Jason Aaron was there, Robert Kirkman, Jonathan Hickman.
I would love to meet Jason Aaron. Honestly, like I really like him, and I've tried so hard to get in contact with him, and every single time he shuts me down. And I just I'm his biggest fan, and he's just shutting me down. So, Jason Aaron, if you can let me in, please, just open your doors and let me have an interview with you.
Greg, if you ever get an opportunity to do an interview with Jason Aaron, I suggest you do it right away.
Yeah, don't even tell me about it. Just link blast me after you're done with it.
I don't know how soon that opportunity is going to come, but I don't know. Should I give them the news? Is that appropriate here?
Yeah, go ahead.
So before we leave, I just want to say I'm going to be reporting on 2 panels for comic resources at the special edition NYC this weekend. I'm going to be reporting the Michael Allred panel and the Howard Chaykin panel, both of which I'm very excited for. So look it up on Comic Resources. I'm going to try to have the articles up within 24 hours of the panel. So check that out on after Monday.
All right then.
That's my little plug.
Holler!
All right.
All right, thank you for joining us.
Yep. See you next week.
It's been real.
Maybe Dave will join us.